Kia ora, welcome to Beer Club. I'm Luke.
I'm Matt.
This week we're drinking a beer with small gods. Cheers.
Yes.
Gargoyle.
Yep. And we are small guys.
Indeed we are. You may have tried some of our beers before, so at Small Gods, we brew, I feel like everyone can say this, but we brew the sort of beers that we want to drink, but like actually we really do, like we don't care about making money.
Yeah, but we brew beers that we want to drink, and sometimes nobody else wants to drink, but not in this case. In this case, we brew the beer that we think everyone wants to drink and should want to drink, and it's kind of the style of beer that made craft beer, right? It's the old school West Coast IPA.
And as it says in the can, drink it like it's 1997. So it's old school, not old school. So the brief version of the history of modern IPAs and modern craft beer, you may well know that they've made IPA in England for a very long time, hop forward beer, rather bitter, and the Americans tried some of this delicious beer in the 90s. They went back to California and Oregon and decided to do their own spin on IPA, by which they made it boozier and used loads of these really interesting American aromatic hops that were coming out of Washington and Yakima, those sort of areas.
Yeah, and what we've really seen over the last decade or more really is a change in the way IPAs in the mainstream are made. Even outside of the growth of hazy IPA, which I'd put in almost a completely separate category other than the fact that it's hoppy. Even when you see modern West Coast IPAs, which have now kind of morphed into bright IPA and California IPA, one key hallmark of the old school IPA is the malt base. And so when creating this beer, I went back to those kind of classic malt bases where there's a bit more sweetness, a bit of toffee caramel to it, rather than your kind of lean Pilsner malt based IPAs that you're seeing in modern iterations. And then pairing that with that bitter hop load using those classic American hops.
And also a lot of the IPAs that we brew have been cold IPAs and beers that have just got a really light lager base or Pilsner malt base, and a lot of them have actually been lager, meant to be lager use. It's been really meant to be a real showcase for super hoppiness and great flavour and great bitterness. So this is really fun to really let the malt do its bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, one of the key things about having a solid malt base in your IPA is it allows you to push that bitterness further because you've got more sweetness to balance it. So we use some classic US hops in this beer, Amarillo, Columbus and Cascade, which were really kind of part of that first wave of American IPAs, particularly Cascade. Kind of, if you want to trace it back even further, you'd probably look at Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, which is 100% Cascade beer, as something that also sowed the seed for the IPA kind of taking it to the next level. Yeah. And so using those to really kind of round out that old school profile. And I'm really happy with it. It's got that a long lingering bitterness that sits across the palate that doesn't spike up, the malt step support that doesn't get cloying and sweet, and it's got enough of that kind of citrus and pine without kind of blowing your head off with a kind of more modern hop loading.
Yeah, I think this would be a great core range IPA, just like an everyday. I've drank quite a bit of this in the last 5 weeks or so, and I'm not getting sick anytime soon. It's definitely going to run out before I get tired of it. So I think we've got a handful of cases left, and like 3 cases left in the shredder here. It's gone pretty fast.
Yeah, for me, it's a really, despite being quite bitter and having that punch to it, it is really drinkable. The length of that bitterness means you want to keep coming back to kind of get refreshed, but you can see why this is a style that kind of kick-started things, and you'll see from the branding, so see the Gargoyle on the can, and there's a bit of a nod there to a real classic pioneering West Coast IPA, which is Stone IPA. Obviously they feature a Gargoyle prominently on their cans, and actually back in the day, going back long ago when I still worked at Beer Jerk, back to my first week at Beer Jerk in 2018.
Okay.
We had, Brent and Luke had just imported a fresh load of American beers, and on that first Beer Jerk shipment that I worked on, we had some Stone IPA in there, and it got me really excited because it is an icon, and so a bit of a nod to that with the branding and the direction of the shop. Yeah,
it was really fun to do, similar to a recent bit that we did with the arms race, which the design and artwork was really a nod to Pliny the Elder. And yeah, this label, in fact, a huge amount of work, and as is often the case with design and things, it's the things that are maybe less noticeable that often take the most work, but actually to get the really small gods engraved in the stone here just took me so long, and I had to learn a whole new process in Photoshop. It actually kind of like nobbled my computer. I had to buy a new computer because it just took like a whole day just to do that writing. But yeah, I was really happy that it's that. I don't know how many people would get the homage to Stone IPA, being as that was popular in 1997, so before many of you guys were born even.
So yeah, I mean, it's a nod. It's not a clone of Stone IPA. It's just a spiritual inspiration. So you don't have to get it to know what a gargoyle is and homage and get a taste of it. So yeah, really happy with that.
And I've been very pleasantly surprised by how well it's gone down with people, because there aren't beers like this around these days.
Not many, no.
I was really expecting people here at the tap room or on Untapped and social media to be kind of whinging that it's malty and it's just not what they would expect of a modern West Coast IPA, because it isn't.
Yeah, well, that's why I insisted you put old school on the can, because West Coast IPA has changed and morphed in recent years, so that modern West Coast IPAs don't taste like this. But this is, to me, kind of a really good distillation of where they came from. But yeah, I think currently on Untapped, this is our third most highly rated beer, behind the Arms Race and Christmas Classic Santa.
Yeah. Well, they are two that have been key passing us to rebrew. Yeah. This is our 61st different beer that we've brewed in the last few years. Never repeated a recipe, so yeah, we might repeat one Monday.
Maybe, we'll see.
And yeah, this style is the style that did kick off the craft beer revolution, really. So it was from this in the late 90s. Brewers like Alesmith and Deschutes and Stone, of course, were massive. And then all these smaller micro pubs and micro breweries and brew pubs in America, until eventually it made its way across the whole world, and then crazy stuff started happening, like people putting citrus or chocolate and coconut coffee in a stout. Just absolutely wild times. Yeah, it's fun to look back and think about how exciting and how revolutionary a beer like this or like Arrogant Bastard really would have been in those days.
Yeah, for sure. And if you want to get a taste of what craft beer is like now, come down to the Auckland Beer Mile Fresh Hop Festival this weekend. Or I think I'm a week off. Last weekend. You've missed it. It's too late.
No, it's happening on Saturday.
This Saturday?
Yeah, so
I'm not too late.
So we just have the official Auckland Fresh Hop Festival across 4 different spots. But this weekend also, it's the 7 venues on the Beer Mile are doing the Beer Mile Fresh Hop event. So we've got a food pop-up down from Pasta Pizza with pizzas. We are pouring the Small Gods Fresh Hop table beer. So if you can't make it on Saturday, you may see a can in your box in the next few weeks to look forward to.
Probably the weirdest fresh hop beer that you will have this year, unless you try the Wilderness, which is a good vibe. So we've got a fresh hopped amber table beer made with green bullet. So we're always zigging when other people are zagging. So you can get a taste of that either in your upcoming box or at the Small Gods Tap Room.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see you down here on Saturday to drink a whole bunch of other good fresh hop beers from other brewers as well. That's very nice.
All right.
Cheers. Cheers.